Over the last 4 years, I've been renovating this house. I even built that extension on the back. In that time period, I've had 2 children, and I've created these social media channels which have a joint following of almost 1 million people. But right now, I'm stuck. Thank you, appreciate it. You too. To understand today's challenge, we're just going to have to recap where I've come from, which was this house renovation, which was born of necessity. So I was kicked out of rented accommodation back in 2020 when the COVID boom happened and all the house prices rose. I was forced to find a house. I'd been saving for one, but I didn't quite have the money that I wanted, and I was set on buying an area, not a house. Anyway, we found a place in a nice area, but it was a full renovation. Me and my partner moved in to that renovation with very little money because we'd spent most of it stretching ourselves on the mortgage, and realised we had some time to renovate it until my partner announced that she was pregnant with our first son, which was a big kick at a time where we had very little time, where we had very little money, and we were living in this place that was just a complete wreck. So instead of waiting for trades and getting loans that we couldn't afford, I decided to dig in and do a lot of the work myself. And on that journey of doing that, I started to love the process. I started to really enjoy doing the building work and the DIY work around the house. And I filmed a lot of it whilst I was doing it. And I did that mainly because I wanted to look back on those projects in the future so I could see what I'd done and be proud of it, maybe show the kids. What that turned into was something completely different, because one day I decided I'd post those videos and on social media. One of the reasons for doing that was to get help from the community. So there's a lot of professional tradesmen online on social media that would be able to comment back and DM me with ideas on how to fix the current project that I'm working on, or ideas for the next project coming up, and it was so helpful. I eventually ended up building a community of around 1 million people. It's over 900k now, but I think it's just less than 1 million. And this house renovation has been amazing. I've loved every second of it. However, times have got hard, and I don't necessarily mean in that we haven't got the money or we haven't got the ability to do the renovation, but now we've got 2 kids. So at the beginning of 2025, we had our second child, and his name's Sonny, and we had a home birth. It was amazing in the kitchen, which was part of the extension that I built. It was a beautiful moment. The reality of having 2 children is that now the house is so full that if I was to do a lot of the filming there, I would have to include the children, because they run in, they move the camera, they make a lot of noise, and that just isn't the type of content that I want to create, just because I just don't think it's right for this type of channel and my audience. But not only that, I don't want to be showing my children online, and people can say what they want about that, but I just want to protect them from being on my channels as much as possible. And that's just the way it is. But that puts me in a very tricky position. I've fallen in love with building. I've got a house that is 70 to 80% renovated, so there's a small amount left to do, and I'm slowly chipping away at that. The reality is I've made this renovation into a business, which is revenue through channels on YouTube just like this, and on the short form channels like TikTok and Facebook. And I've also got Instagram, and I get brand deals there, and all of that business, that media business around this renovation is paying for our life, and it's absolutely fantastic. And I'm extremely fortunate that I get to do what I love, which is the whole building thing and creating videos, and get paid for it. It's amazing. But I can't continue the renovation because my children would be on the footage. So I'm really at this crossroads, and I do flip between the idea of, oh, just do it and it doesn't matter if they're in it, and then protecting them from online. And it'd be great to get some comments, actually. It'd be great to hear what people have to say about their view on sharing children online. I know a lot of other content creators do it, but it just doesn't feel like me, okay? So there is a next step, and partly for the reason of making this video is to put a line in the sand for 2026 about where I've come from, which was that journey of getting the house and the renovation, where I am now, which is the house being 70 to 80% complete with just a driveway to finish, the hallway, the landing and the stairs and a downstairs toilet. Just those projects to finish before this house is done. And I want to continue my passion, which is the building, and I also want to maintain these social media channels, and I want to grow them as well. I want to build this community of people. The people that have followed me on this journey are amazing. They've been so helpful. They've really enjoyed the journey so far, and I want to continue that. So the only option is to get another renovation property. And when you look out there into the world about renovation properties, and I've been doing a little bit of that, I've been going to see different ideas, land, everything from land and building something new, all the way up to, like a terraced house, a very low price terraced house in my local area, all the way up to something like a house of character, maybe Victorian or Edwardian or Victorian, whatever, some sort of big renovation. Obviously, it all comes with money and finance, but that's part and parcel of the journey for sure. And I'll definitely be able to share that as I go along. And I'm just on that precipice now of finding this next project to take me into 2026 and really start to do some fun, consistent building and renovation content on this channel. And it'd be great actually to get some feedback from the audience that are here, as well obviously as on my other short form channels, about what it is that you find most interesting when you come onto YouTube. What is it that you see that you really love and enjoy? Is it the French chateaus? Is it the €1 houses in Italy? Is it the Victorian townhouses in a nice little town in the middle of England? Or is it a little cottage on the coast? What is it that you personally think would be extremely exciting and interesting? Personally, I'd love to do something abroad. I find that probably has the most risk. It's the most daring feat, especially for somebody who's come from not knowing anything about building and now kind of just getting my teeth into it, and then I'm going to go abroad and do it. So there's so many questions for 2026 that need to be answered. It's an unbelievably exciting time, but again, this video is probably more for me than it is for you guys, but then it is an opportunity for you guys to leave your comments, explain what it is that you like to watch, and maybe the way you see this channel going. At the end of the day, I want this to be a really nice open community, just like the days when I started all of my social media activity, which was just asking people for advice, talking to people all the time, and just building a really strong community of DIYers, home renovators, self-builders, and tradespeople. It's amazing. So I'll leave you with that thought, and hopefully by at least the midway through 2026, I've got a clear idea of what the next project is, and I'd love to be sharing all of that with you guys and just taking you on a consistent journey. Thanks for watching, and I can't wait to see the comments.